were caught up in a lot of paperwork and felt like there was a need to help people advocate for themselves, either in that kind of setting or wherever else they may be. And so I ended up getting an aging in place specialty. So I look at anything from aging in place and what can we do to stay in our home safely to what are our next steps. And when I meet with clients, I try to develop a plan that kind of goes along that whole spectrum. And one of my passions is making a home livable too. So we'll kind of be talking about that as part of our program, but just making a home that people can come visit you in that's accessible to everybody. So that'll be part of our discussion as we go along. But I'm excited to be here. Last time I came, we spoke a lot about, and I do some private physical therapy as well still. So I keep my license for physical therapy up, but I work more as an advocate now, and sometimes to help people I stay involved after I've helped people with that initial contact as well. But last time I came, I talked a lot about balance and balance exercises. But today I'm going to talk some about that, but I'm also going to talk about how we can incorporate some of those things into our everyday lives. So let me just kind of pull up my PowerPoint here, and you guys are welcome to add to the chat box, however you need to do it. Oh, I need to share my screen before that will work, right? Do it this way. Yep. Okay, bear with me.
There you go.
There I am. There I am. Okay. So my company is called Wise Transition, started about 6 years ago, actually. A little bit of an overview about how I hope to communicate to you today. A little bit about just the overview of balance. What do we talk about when we talk about keep moving? I'm sure a lot of you have heard that since you've been at home during COVID more. What do we do to eliminate obstacles in our home so that we don't put ourselves at risk for falls? And a little bit about how we can make our homes livable and visitable too. I'll talk a little bit about what that means. So before, when I spoke to everyone, I went into a lot more detail about what balance looks like and what causes, what the result of poor balance is, but I'll cover that some today. When you have balance that is impaired, it increases your risk for falls. And of course, when you have a fall, there's always risk of fracture. And then when you talk about the risk of fracture, you talk about surgery, and everybody wants to avoid that if at all possible. Sometimes it impairs our ability to walk around, to get in and out of bed, to get up and down stairs. Those sorts of things can be impaired when you have an impaired balance. It might mean that we need more help. And sometimes when we get a fear of falling, it even makes that worse. So if you've fallen once and you have a fear of falling, then sometimes you're so tentative that it makes it even worse. It limits our desire to leave our comfort zone. So if you know that walking on the grass is really hard for you, or walking on a trail is really hard for you, then you start to limit the areas that which you go. And we don't want that. We want people to be able to get out in the world as much as we can, considering what's going on now. And then sometimes we kind of isolate ourselves. So we try to look at, the reason we want to know these things is because we want to change the things that we can change. The top 5 things that increase our risk for falls: muscle weakness, when you have a history of falls, gait deficits. So if you have does anyone know what a foot drop is? Like maybe if your strength of the muscles that lift your foot are not where they should be. Some people who have diabetes have decreased sensation in their feet. And so it results in a problem with the way that you're walking. So that's a gait deficit. Of course, balance deficits, but balance deficits are kind of related to all these other things we'll be discussing. You just don't have a balance problem. The balance problem is related to other systems in your body. If you do use an assisted device, great. And that helps reduce falls sometimes. But also because you do need an assisted device, it kind of tells you that maybe you do have an increased risk for falls. So enough about the bad talk about what falls are and everything. Let's talk about what we can do about it. So in order to have good balance, you have to have good strength, you have to have good flexibility, and fast reacting muscles. Does anybody know what that might mean? If you do, just kind of raise your hand, and I'll go into it as well. Can we let Stephen, let's see. What do you think it means, Stephen? It's not letting me unmute him.
Oh, I can unmute him.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, you have muscles that move more like weight is more important, and you have other muscles that are quicker reacting, quicker moving.
Right. When you go to take it, when you start to fall, there's a couple strategies that come in. It's easier to demonstrate in person, but the first strategy that comes in is called your ankle strategy, and those are those quick reacting muscles. It goes through an arc through your spinal cord, doesn't even really go up to your brain. It's like a reflex, just like if you were to do your knee reflex when you go to the doctor. So the ankle strategy comes in first, and then that's not enough, you may need your knees and your hips to come in. If that's not enough, then you do a step. And all those things kind of happen quickly and without you really knowing they happen. So that relates to how, that's one strategy for reacting to a change in your center of gravity. Flexibility. So you need to be flexible, because if you're very stiff, then it's hard for those muscles to react properly. So we need to have flexibility in the ankles and flexibility in the hips and the knees, so that our body can be kind of fluid, so that we can react to changes in our center of gravity. You also need core strength. And core strength, of course, relates to your stomach muscles, your back muscles. All the muscles around your body need to be strong in the middle. And the saying that goes, you must have stability to have mobility. So in order for your arms to move, your trunk has got to be stable. Your arms can't move if your trunk's everywhere, right? So in order to sit on the side of a bed or sit in a chair, you have to have stability through your trunk and through your core. Posture impacts balance. So what happens I'll see if I can even, if we can see or not, but if your posture is forward, your head is forward, and it's going to promote falling forward. A lot of people also tend to be on their heels, and that promotes falling backwards. If your hips are bent and you're forward, again, it's going to cause tightness in your hip muscles in the front, and that can cause increased risk, and it can impair your balance as well. Also, poor posture affects your breathing. So one of the cues that I actually go to a physical therapist for my neck. I've had problems with my neck since I've been home at my computer more. And one of the things that she always advises is sternum up. So if you try it now, if you push your sternum up, what naturally happens to your head? Your head kind of comes back into play where it should be. So if your head's forward and you're sitting at the desk like this, think sternum up, and look how your head kind of comes up too. So that's just a really good cue to remember when you're sitting at your desk a lot during the day. So when we talk about improving balance, let's change the things that we can change and accept the things we can't. So maybe something's happened and we develop a weakness of our ankle muscles that we can't do anything about. Well, let's strengthen all the other parts of our balance so that we can, so that one thing that's bothering us won't bother us so much. The other thing is vision. So vision plays part of your balance, and your sensation plays a big role in your balance. So if one of those things is impaired, we can't really change that. We have to strengthen the other areas that affect balance, the strength, your endurance, all those things that affect balance, we had to change as well. So keep moving, right? How many of you, just by raise of hands, have found that you don't exercise as much, or you're not as mobile as you were pre-COVID, pre-March? Yeah. I think it's a big challenge. Is anybody y'all are doing Zoom classes at the Y, right, Jane?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a challenge, and it's something that I actually, I've a couple of meetings from, and I would love feedback at the end too on what do you think the best way to get the information to people is. So I've been to a Falls Coalition meeting, and about is trying to bring some of these videos or exercise programs to people who are at home. And sometimes people aren't as tech savvy as you guys are. The fact that you're on Zoom is way beyond a lot of your generation. Some people are very good technically. Other people, like my father-in-law is 93. He doesn't even know how to get on his computer anymore. So trying to find ways to bring exercises to people is one thing. So this is kind of good because the focus of today is let's do something in everyday life that will help us get moving again. Sitting, we know, is not great for us. It makes our hips tight. It impairs our posture. You know, we're not expending any calories when we're sitting. So there's weight gain that can happen. So this is really great that you guys are listening this day, I think. So range of motion and stretching is one area of exercise. Posture exercises is another. And then balance and coordination is another. And we're going to hit each one of those very lightly, but it can be done 5 minutes, you know, throughout your day. So let's just think about early morning when you get up out of bed. What you want to do is do some ankle pumps. Before you even get out of bed, you've already started your exercises, right? Up and down with your ankles, just that. Maybe then just some ankle circles to get you going. Then maybe sit on the edge of the bed, warm up just some neck exercises. Either way, I'm tight here, I will tell you that. You can do some neck circles, rotations. You can do some shoulder shrugs. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a bunch of, and then I mentioned, someone mentioned this, I think, when I was with you guys last, is just practicing your balance by standing on one leg while you're brushing your teeth or while you're doing your hair. Rotate each leg. You've got the kitchen, you've got the counter there to hold on to, which is great. You've got, you know, you've got a lot of different capabilities there. And then doing some towel stretches. And I'm going to show you those with some pictures in just a few minutes. Oh, there's one right there. It showed up. Imagine the miracle of a little bit of technology. So this one is just basically, you know, you're holding onto a towel, and believe it or not, you get a lot of resistance just by holding the towel. If you can see can you see my pointer a little bit? And the musculature of your arms even becomes affected, but this is just a simple stretch down and up, and you can hold it for a few seconds. Again, in my bathroom, just brush my teeth. I've already done some stretches for the day. Let's see if I can show you these. Let me see if I can find this another way. Okay, let me just go back to, let's see if this, yeah, here they are. Okay. So can you see these okay? Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So this kind of shows a couple of them that that I put together this morning. Those are at the kitchen sink. Just you're doing your dishwasher. We're stretching. Let me just go back. I'll let them play, and then I'll kind of go through each one so you can see. That's just standing on one leg. Now, there, let me pause that one. That's a pretty good stretch if you can see it. It's what I like about it is you're holding a towel in one hand, also back on the other hand, and you're just stretching the front part of your muscle on this arm. And you could rotate and do it, you know, do it the other arm too.
We can't see those pictures in the slides.
Okay, let me see if I can find them another way. Well, let me just. go. Can you see those now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is just one where I'm at the kitchen sink. I'm going to unload the dishwasher, and then I'm going to do some leg lifts. So I'm just lifting my leg out to the side and back down. And you can do that to both sides. Same thing going backwards, holding under the kitchen sink, just lifting the leg backwards. Even do, now this is going to be a push-up. So you can do this. This just gives you a little bit of incline on a push-up. You can also do it just straight forward against the wall. But I like this because it's great for stretching out the muscles in the front of your chest, and it's great for arm strength. So you just push down and back up. It is a calf stretch. So you can do that at your sink. You can do that against a wall. But again, really important for going up and down stairs. Being able to walk with a smooth gait is having a nice loose muscle in your calf. Now, it's also important because I don't know about you guys. Has anybody ever had plantar fasciitis?
Yeah.
It's horribly painful. And I've had it before. My husband has it now. He uses actually a wedge to stretch his ankle with, which is even better. You probably had those at the Y when you were there, but it's just a wedge and you just put your feet on it and let it stretch, which is another even better way to stretch it. This shows the one of just standing on one leg, brushing your teeth. For some reason, I can't see okay, I'm gonna stop sharing that. Now, see, let me go back to my other one. Okay. Like what I'm not able to see is the, unfortunately, is the, I did one of the, of the dishwasher unloading. So one of the things that, that's another great spot to do it is when you're doing an activity that you normally would do every day, is to do it with exercise in mind. So instead of picking the dish and unloading it, do a squat as you're unloading each dish. So for example, I'll show you, one of the things with the squat is making sure that you are from your, can't see me very well, bending here like you're going to sit in a chair straight down. So if this were a dish, I could pick up the dish from the dishwasher, step and load it into wherever I'm going to load it. I could pick it up into the dishwasher, put it on the counter until I go to my next step. Then I might need to take it from the counter to wherever I'm going to put the dish. The other suggestion I would have is if you're going to do this and you don't feel very secure doing it, then go ahead and put a chair behind you. Here's your dish. You sit in the chair, you pick up your dish and onto the counter. That's another way of doing it. Same with the, I don't have the picture of doing squats at the kitchen counter, but you can also do the same thing with that. Just have the chair behind you, sit in the chair and stand back up. Just sitting and standing from a chair without any support is a great way to strengthen the muscles in your thighs and your buttocks as well. So that's a really good exercise. Then we talk about the afternoon stretch, for example. You've gone throughout your day. Posture exercises are really important. This one is nice because you can use just a little ball or some type of little pillow behind the back. It forces your sternum up. Right here, you can see sternum up. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in as you bring your arms back so that you have a nice big a nice big breathing in from to lift your chest. Exhale and return to your starting position. This is some of the same things, but you're just kind of working a little bit more on coordination. So you're exhaling and inhaling depending on where your arms are. And then you can circle your arms as well back to center. So it's great for coordination and balance, particularly if you have trouble when you're in a standing position. just working on this in a seated position is a great thing to do. There's the calf stretch again. You can do it against a wall. And then the other thing is, you know, and this may be, these may be things you already do or things that might be a little bit difficult to do. Just do something fun that allows you to move. If you want to involve your grandkids, you know, even if it's just via Zoom, that's a great thing to do too. Go for a walk, throw a ball at the dog, do a little dancing. I will tell you a secret. My husband is not much of a dancer at all. I mean, like, he really hates it. I call him a six-pack dancer because he needs about a six-pack before he'll go on the floor to dance. Right? And so I told him when COVID happened, and we've been pretty strict at our house for the most part, but when COVID happened, I said, we're going to learn to dance. We're going to do this dance program. And there's a dance class online called Show Her Off. And basically it's meant to, for the husband or the male partner to turn you a bunch of times, basically is what he's supposed to do. You had to pay for it, and it was on YouTube. And so I told him we were doing that, and he goes, oh, I don't want to. I said, yeah, I've already done it. I've already paid for it. So we have to do it now. There's 12 classes, and we've done, I think, 4. But I guess we have a time to do it, seeing as how we're going to be held up here for a while, it seems like. So
That's funny.
You could do that too. We have a giant Jenga that we built and last year, and so does anybody know what Jenga is? Mm-hmm. It's like a game where you stack blocks and you have to pull the blocks out. So we do our own, and it's giant, so it's tall. So we keep it on the back porch, and we play Jenga sometimes. So, you know, play some music and just move around. It doesn't have to be a really specific exercise that you're doing. I think it's just the whole point of just keeping moving. We also built, I don't have a picture of it, we also built a cornhole set, a miniature one, because we did get to go to the mountains for a week, and because they're so big. Do you know what cornhole is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Game, you know, and so we built a smaller one. And my daughter is kind of the artist, so she made a picture of COVID. We titled them COVID-19, and the cornhole is decorated with a picture of the COVID virus all over it. And then the other thing that we've done too is my husband has not been much of a woodworker, but you know, we just he buys little tools here and there. And before it got so hot, we were often sitting in the front yard, the two of us, sanding something or doing some project or whatever it happens to be. So we've undertaken a few projects as well. So you know, just find something that interests you and enjoy moving and enjoy doing it. Anybody to undertake any COVID projects? No, I think you need to.
Yeah.
So then there's other things you can do, right? Bouncing a ball against a wall. Even big balls are good to bounce too. I have one here at the house. I've done that. Walking on your heels, walking on your toes. And again, you know, I'm sure grandkids would get a great big kick out of you doing a video and sending it to them if you're doing something funny like walking on your heels or walking on your toes. Challenge them to do it too. So we talked a little bit about exercise to do for balance. The next thing is, you know, eliminating obstacles. So ask yourself a question. You know, you're around your house a lot right now. Go around your house and just look and see what's going on there. One of the things that we're doing, and I'll talk about this a little bit later too, is my father-in-law is in assisted living up in Delaware, and we're seriously considering having him down here for a bit of time just because of the way things are going with COVID. He's just so isolated. And and the other thing is, it's nice to have, and my parents are still living and they're able to come up here as well, but it's nice to have a downstairs area where they can be and where things are accessible to them. We have an in-law suite downstairs. And so, we don't have a huge house, but we just happen to have this it's basically 2 masters, just a small master down. And so what we've done during this whole COVID thing is kind of reevaluated that situation and renovated that space so that someone could come visit and be completely accessible to them. And I'll showing you that. But the so look around. So look at your bathroom. What's your bathroom setup like? Is it really cluttered? Can you get to the that you need? Can you access your shower and tub easily? Can someone visiting you who might have mobility limitations access a tower or tub easily? Can you navigate an assistive device in the bathroom if needed, or through doors? So if you have a walker and you take it through the house, where are those sticking points? And normally you're going to find the bathroom as being the biggest sticking point because, you know, doors in the bathrooms are anywhere from 24 to 28 inches wide, which is hardly, they usually don't fit a walker through going straight. Not to say that everybody's going to need a walker, you're not, but you might have a friend who might need one who's coming to visit. So how wide are these doorways? Lighting, is there ample lighting throughout your house? I love motion sense night lights. I'm having trouble with my words because I think that for me, if I had a night light on all night, or if I had a bathroom light on all night, it would drive me crazy. I wouldn't be able to sleep. So I love ones that only come on at night and only come on when you walk by them. And with the power outages that we've had, I would recommend getting ones that are battery operated too, so back up. And I think I have a picture of some ones that I've used before that are really good. There are even some that you can get that look like a light switch that are LED and battery operated that I like too. So then you look at your rugs, and when I go in homes, I recommend, I know you probably had it happen to you too, your kids might be bugging you about it, is pulling up rugs. They, you know, a lot of times you'll notice that a rug will be kind of beveled up on one side. And so usually that means that somebody's walking across that rug and they keep dragging their foot on it. If you start seeing that, I would say it's definitely time to start thinking about pulling up that rug. Look at your flooring or thresholds raised. So do you have a lot of spots where you have an uneven surface to work with? Stairs. What are your stairs like coming into the house? Are there railings? Are the railings sturdy? Are the
Did she freeze up?
Oops, so
We lost her.
we lost her.
your backups deteriorating? All this kinds of, and some of the changes are really easy and some are not so easy.
We lost you there for a minute.
Okay, you got me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So some of these changes are, you know, expensive. Some of them are just really quick fixes. Some of them are just organization. I mean, I've gone in homes where a woman was a designer and I think her husband was a hoarder, and they had a horrible, and her vision was impaired. So I felt so badly for her because they had a horrible time with just stuff everywhere. I don't know how she kept from falling, you know, just all the things that she had to walk over, the things that were there. So actually for her, I recommended a professional organizer. So, you know, just kind of take a look around and see what can be done that you could do pretty easily. So we answered yes to a lot of these questions. As I was saying, the bathroom downstairs had narrow doors. It had, the flooring wasn't too bad. It was pretty consistent. It had a bathtub in there with no grab bars at all. There was one area that had doors that would meet everywhere, which was really strange. So we decided that with COVID, my mother-in-law actually had passed away in March. So my father-in-law is up in Delaware. He has family up there too. But anyway, we thought that we might bring him down here if he wanted to come down. He probably will. So we wanted to kind of renovate things. Did not want to spend a ton of money doing it. This may be the first fix of downstairs. The second fix may be when we need it, you know, full term. But didn't want to spend a ton of money, so didn't spend as much money like in the finishings, I guess. But we really wanted a functional shower that we could use, that someone visiting could use and be safe in. A step over tub just wasn't going to do it. So I'll kind of show you the before pictures, which I believe did show up here. Let's see if they did. So here was the sink area, a typical older sink. Now, sink was, when we have, most of the time when people renovate bathrooms, they have a higher, like a little bit higher sink. This sink wasn't terribly low and it wasn't really, really high. So I think this is like 33 inches high, if I remember correctly, and like a countertop height is about 35. So it's about 2 inches less than what most people are putting in their bathrooms now. Didn't feel there was a need to spend the money to redo that whole vanity area. We had a little bit of what we call knee space here. So if someone needed to sit to do something, they could with the stool. Again, this is not ADA compliant. What we're doing is making something a little more accessible and a little more easy to navigate. So we decided to keep the vanity. I'm painting it, and that's kind of how we decided to handle that area. So then we have the toilet area. Of the gold. It just is lovely right here. So this is a very tight space between the toilet and the sink. The toilet is low. There's no grab bars or anything in the toilet. Here you have your tub area. And so you can kind of see there really wasn't a very good space. So this is a very small space. Let's see if I can get you. So this kind of shows, I think this is actually a video. So this kind of shows a little bit about when they started demoing everything and what it looked like. Demolition happened. So we widened doorways. So one thing to note here is that, do you see this here? This is like blocking they put in the walls. You always want to get blocking in the walls whenever you're redoing any kind of shower area, because what that allows them to do is to install grab bars wherever they want to with nice sturdy blocking. And you can get specific anchors for the areas that aren't blocked. The blocking kind of adds a lot. And I probably could have gotten more blocking. I didn't, but I probably could have. So blocking walls is where grab bars. We'll actually take a picture of it next to measuring tape, exactly where it is. So what we're saying there is, whenever you do anything in your house, like say you even ripped out a wall, because sometimes what they'll talk about is you can have, you can put your, like say you're going to install your electrical outlets for some reason, and you've had to take part of a wall to do that, or you've expanded an area. You want to know what's going on behind that wall. So if you put a measuring tape of it up to it and you take the picture, then you know where your junction box is and you know where your outlet controls are, so that when someone needs to go in and put another outlet in, they can do so knowing where everything is located. I don't think that's too important. We had to do some changes. Our plumbing was kind of strange, so that was an issue too. That just shows the picture of the blocking. There we took a picture of exactly where the blocking is in the wall. So if we need to know, someone need to measure it and put in new grab bars, they could do that too. So here's the lights actually that I was talking about. These Sylvania lights are really good. I'm gonna see if I can show this movie now. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. And share, and let's see if it will. I don't know if it didn't load, so let's see if I can do it another way. I don't think it finished loading. Let me try it this way. Let me try it here. Can you try, do you see where it says Kelly Markowitz, the other Kelly Markowitz? Can you give me permission on that one?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Share.
Uh,
I think I can show you.
that might be why, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. I can show it here. Oh, yay. Okay.
It's funny, I did all that blocking when I did my shower. We didn't take pictures, so I don't know what happens now that it's there. And that nobody knows exactly where it is unless it's all standard height and they can find it when we need it. But that wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done.
Well, you'll see, we made a mistake too when we did it. I'll show you. Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. Actually, okay, let's do this. Let's see if I can go downstairs without. Oh, am I frozen now? Okay. Let's see if I take you on a tour down there. Let's hope that nobody's in the bathroom. Let's see if I can do that.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise, right?
Surprise.
All right. So can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna walk. Let's see if I can flip the camera. Well, we will do it this way. We'll just try and see what we can do. All right, Miss Nala. The doggy.
All right, you just froze. Let's see if she comes back. There she goes again. Kelly, can you hear me? I don't know if she's talking to us or not. Can't hear you, Kelly. There she goes. All right, can you hear me now? Kelly?
Well, she went from upstairs to downstairs.
I'm back up here.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Anyway, bottom line is that when we did the shower, none of the pictures came on. But basically, we took the tub and we converted it to a complete shower. And so so we did the tub, converted it to a shower, and it's a completely roll-in shower. So we did a shower pan, that actually, they just inserted it right into the space. They didn't have to go and they didn't have to tile the whole thing. And they didn't have to, they took out the tub, put it in a shower pan, and then we finished it off on the walls. We didn't even tile the walls. We used a different kind of, just a modular type, walls is basically what we did. So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that those options are out there without being too expensive. I always start in the bathroom because that's one of the places I think we have the most falls, where people tend to be challenged the most. And it's the area where when people visit too, that I think that's when they typically have a more difficult time. So what, this shows some examples of some showers too that are 0-step entry, much different than what we did. But just to show you, they can have style and still, and still be accessible to people. What questions can I answer for you guys? I'm just gonna see if there's anything else that might be of interest while I'm going through the. Oh, I was going to show those lights to you again. So when I was talking about the, oh, sugar. I'm sorry. Okay. So the lights I was talking about, these lights are I like these a lot, the Sylvania ones. They're LED and you can direct them. These are also nice, and I think these are plug-ins too. But I was highly recommend making sure you have appropriate lighting no matter where you are. And then the other thing is just like I said, reviewing your areas and see where your areas of challenges are, and trying to do the most cost-effective way of fixing those areas, I guess. Does anybody have any areas of concern at their house that they think I might be able to just, just talk about with you? Or any questions?
I have a quick question. We've got a tile floor in the shower, and right now I'm using one of those rubber mats with the suction cups on it, so that I don't slip. Is there any type of stripping that you can put on the tile? You recommend any type of adhesive or anything versus a rubber mat?
It's interesting that you say that. The shower pan that we got has some anti-slip qualities, but the guy that I buy it from, he has a special surface that you can, I don't know if you can strip what you have, but you might be able to paint something on that provides you a little bit of grit and resistance. And I'll see if I can get the name of the stuff that, and I can send it to Jane to send to you. But it's like a roll-on, and we're gonna put it on there. The other thing is you might be able, people are painting tile more now. I don't know that I would do that, but there are some, there may be some anti-slip qualities with the tile that, with a certain paint that might help too in the bathroom. I haven't tried that, but I don't know for sure. That might be an option to look at as well. But if you do ever replace tile in the bathroom, at Lowe's and Home Depot, they actually have a little shoe on their display, and it tells you that that's an anti-slip tile. And that's what we did in our bathroom, is we did one that was the anti-slip tile as well.
Oh, good. Thank you. Good idea.
Is anybody doing any exercises that they think that are, how are you incorporating exercise into your day, I guess, is one question I'm always interested to learn about.
I work out with whoever Jenny is She lives in Raleigh on YouTube. It's called Fit Over 50.
Okay.
And judging from the people that are in her classes, putting fit over 50 is being very kind. So
is it actually, is it a Zoom class where you can see everybody?
it's on YouTube, and her name is Jenny. It comes up that way, and she has 25 minutes, then she'll have one for 35 minutes, and then she'll have one that's an hour. You can pick the different
Yeah.
things, and they're videotaped, so they're not
Okay.
live. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Good
And
to
the
know.
price is right.
Yeah, the price is right.
Zero, right?
Yeah,
got it.
you got it. My favorite price.
What's everybody else doing to move around? Is anything going on? Are you moving?
Yes.
Good. What are you doing? Good.
What did you say you're doing?
Walking.
I walk.
Yes,
Early
yes.
in the morning before it gets too hot.
You
Yeah.
have to. You have to.
Hard to get up, but once I'm out of the bed, I'm okay. You
You
know,
know, I heard a podcast once. This woman was talking about having the motivation to get up and do exercise, whatever it happens to be. And so, you know, you had that self-talk when your eyes open in the morning. So you're like, oh, do I want to get up now? Or do I not want to get up now? And so her thinking was that I just need to do one step and then the next step. So she would say, just go pee. So, and
That's
then
right.
after that, I thought that was a good motivation.
The Y does have some 360. In the Y 360, there are some virtual classes that you can watch. I think there's a couple there. So there's other resources. I also work at the JCC, so I have some classes out there on their YouTube site. So so there's lots of resources online for to keep moving. So if you don't just love walking's great. I walk all the time, but you know, if you're looking for, you know, more classes, then, and also we have this relationship with the Sacramento Y, and they have some Zoom classes. So if that's something, you can sign up for some of their Zoom classes. They're in Sacramento, but you know, everything's wide open right now, like the memberships and all that kind of stuff. We're just trying to help people. So there's lots of stuff out there. So if you're looking, you know, if you want more than what you currently have, please let me know. I can direct you to my classes. I can direct you to the Sacramento Y classes, you know, or share what you have. But, you know, there's, you know, we have to keep moving and find ways that we, you know, that's entertaining for us and keeps us going. So.
Right. We actually put a little, it was hard to find, like pickleball stuff was one of the things that people were interested in doing when COVID hit. And so we happened to buy a little pickleball kit, and we actually painted a pickleball court in our cul-de-sac. So
That's great.
we keep the net at the front of our driveway area, and then anybody who wants to play can just go put the net out and grab some paddles. And so it's kind of like a neighborhood little thing.
That's great.
That's cool. Pickleball, I just played for the first time. I'm not sure I knew the rules, but we took our kids and it was just something to do because we were looking for something to do, and it's fun. It's could be my new thing.
Yeah, I think so too. It is fun. I was a tennis player, so this has been, and I just haven't played recently, but yeah, it's something to do really easily. And there's a lot of great, you know, don't go by yourself, but there's a lot of great new walking trails, so to speak, in town too. You know, over by Park Road, they've expanded the trails over there quite a bit, and they're really beautiful. And they run right by the creek and whatnot. And so we've done that. You know, we've ridden bikes out there too, and that's been kind of nice. But there are
The nice thing about those trails is it's cooler because some of it's shaded, so that's kind of a nice. And there's a lot of walking tours that you in neighborhoods. So we kind of did a lot of that in the beginning of COVID. Where
oh really?
Yeah, the historians online have sort of written about houses. So with Plaza Midwood or NODA, or you just kind of, they'll tell you where to start, and then they'll tell you about a little bit about the area. So those are fun too. So
And it's
just-
called I mean, how do you find them? Historians online? Is that what it's?
it's Charlotte on the cheap. He usually I think had a big. It's like Tom Hatchett's.
Yeah.
I'll send you the
Okay.
link, but it's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay.
We've done a lot of those. I
That
can't
sounds
remember
good.
exactly what it's called, but I'll send it to you, Kelly.
And Bob, if I find out the name of that stuff, and I know that the guy that I get it from is a supplier, so if you happen to, I can get it for you, and we can work out a deal.
Okay. Thank you.
Pay me for it as opposed to paying. 'Cause I don't think you can buy it direct. He doesn't sell direct to the public, so
Yeah.
that's my point.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Kelly today, and about, what, concerns you might have about your exercise programs, or what you can do, or any questions about your home, keeping it safe? But we really appreciate you coming on, Kelly, and kind of walking us through some of these things to be thinking about.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the
Thank
technical.
you.
Thank you for the time.
You're welcome. Y'all have a nice day.
All right, guys, it was really good to see you. I hope to see you again next week. And tell your friends, again, we have no walls now, so you don't have to be a member. You can just, please share so we can keep these things going, because and if you want to see different topics, just keep me posted. I'm happy to look for topics that interest you. So it's good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Jane.
You're so welcome.